Welcome back to Success Nation. This is the programming, but when we're talking about how you've been programmed, you have to understand the purpose of the programming. The sole purpose of programming any individuals or country or organizations is to make them do what you want them to do. Sometimes the people doing the programming don't even know they are programming you to fail because they were programmed themselves. This is not brand new. This is not one president, one prime minister, one preacher, one teacher. It's been going on for thousands of years. For thousands of years, human beings were programmed not to recognize who they were, not to recognize the essence of who they are, their capability as beings, their capability to create and to control their destiny from here into eternity. That programming is what got the world the way it is right now. We might look at the world and say the world is in chaos, the world is going down. The world is not going down. The world is actually changing for the better. Because your programming is no longer working. You are no longer programmed, you're waking up. But don't get it wrong. You are still programmed. You are programmed to be criminals. You are programmed to do all the things that you are doing. You are programmed to do them. If you criminalize a race, you criminalize the people based on their race. You program them to be criminals. When they commit crimes, they're doing exactly what you want them to do. Unless they understand how to deprogram themselves. Unless they understand that this programming is not working for me. So therefore, as an individual, I have the power to not fall what I've been told, what they are telling me. What does it have to do with you succeeding in life? Well, if you understood the power of your mind, you will understand how to change your mind. Let's say you have an enemy. The enemy sets you up. The enemy knows your routine. The enemy knows, like, you know what? If I do A, he will do B. So therefore, I have my opportunity to bring C in. Do you understand that? Because people are predicting your behaviors based on the programming that you were conditioned to respond. You were conditioned to respond a specific way based on the specific programming. Your mind were conditioned to not be your decision. Your decision to succeed as a people was taken away from you. A few hundred years is a lot. But thousands of years of programming is even worse. We have to understand how to deprogram ourselves in order to understand how to make our world better. How to make this world of ours better. We cannot make it better just simply by sitting around. Our programming is what destroying us. Sometimes when we marry people, they don't see your best interest in mind. Their programming is what's going to cause you to fail. Because you said to yourself, honey, I want to go to nursing school, or I want to become an attorney. I want to become anything that you want in your life. And the person reminds you, you're not good at writing. I don't think you should go to school because your writing sucks. Now remind you now, that's the person you're married to. that person is not encouraging you to grow. That person doesn't understand how much you listen to that person, how much you want to hear the person tell you that you can do it. Then you listen to that person, you stop. Said, my programming, I don't want to do this because your husband, your wife, your children does not approve of what you want to do. That is wrong. Because that's not helping you grow. But they are simply following the program that was designed inside of them. Because if you deprogram yourself, I bet you can also deprogram your DNA. I don't have a medical background to see. I'm not a geneticist to put it out there. But I will tell you one thing. The way you think also affects your children. They also affect the people around you. They also affect your generations to come. Well, that programming stays within your children's ways. Their behavior is indicative of yours. The way you behave, what you say to them, they will believe it. Then they carry it around. Then they'll pass it on to their children. Their children will pass it on to their children, and their children's children will pass it on to each other. So therefore, that programming is recorded, has been recorded in your DNA. You pass it on to your children in your future. It doesn't take a geneticist to recognize that behaviors, they stay with us forever unless somebody decides to change. Unless you decide to say, you know what, it's not going to happen anymore. It's going to stay with you. Don't go around and be angry at people just because you feel like this person is using the programming on me. No. Find things that'll make your life better. Because once you understand that, you would no longer be controlled by the program that's around you. Nobody has a computer to say, you know what, let me put your name on the computer and program how you behave. They don't have to have that. But your mind is more powerful than the most powerful computer that's ever existed. The most powerful computer in existence cannot be as powerful as your mind. The information that you can absorb, the most powerful computer in the world would not ever be able to absorb all that information. You can absorb your information in nanoseconds without frying your brain. Computers has a specific speed of absorbing the information. So therefore, it's limited. Your DNA is limitless. Once you start changing the way you do things, you start changing how things come to you. Once you change the programming, you also change your behavior. You remove all that was programmed. Your behaviors are no longer predictable based on the program anymore. When people condition you to be criminals, you have to understand you were programmed to be criminals. Because you were criminalized for your race, your height, your intelligence, and everything else around you. If you were criminalized for being such a thing, it's not going to make your life better. It'll make you a criminal. But if you decide to say, I am not what you want me to be, I will not be what you want me to be, I will be better than what you want me to be. You make that decision, because that decision will change your children and your children's children. It's not about you, but your decisions of today will predict the behavior of your children's tomorrow. Tomorrow is your today. What you do today will dictate how tomorrow will be for your children. You look at countries some kings and queens made decisions 400 years ago that brought us to the American shores. Those decisions were made by an individual. Those decisions carried down to priests, pastors, teachers, parents. Those decisions even became part of our lives, to say to ourselves, I am less than a human being. We don't realize that we say that to ourselves all the time, but we say it unconsciously. We say to ourselves that if anything that is associated with a certain country is bad, anything that is associated with another country is better. You are playing the game that was programmed for you to play. You have to understand, in order for you to deprogram yourself, you have to understand how to support your own brothers and sisters. You have to understand that not because your brothers and sisters decided to build something means it's no good. Sometimes it is better than what you can consider to be good or bad. It's because you were programmed. You were programmed to hate yourself. You were programmed to hate the skin that you were carrying. The most precious tool that you possess, which is your mind. You were programmed to doubt it. You were programmed to doubt your every move. You were programmed to be uncertain. You were programmed to be insecure about anything that you do. You were programmed to ask, is this good? You also were programmed to accept the bad opinions that were given to you. You were programmed to say, well, if this person tells me it is no good, therefore, I don't want to do it anymore. If I did not read it on the newspaper, therefore it's not true. If it's not written in somebody's books, so therefore it must not be truth. Well, lies are written in books as well. People accept the lies as being truth because they're conditioned to accept it. Their conditioning is a reflection of our society today. We have to understand, in order for us to make this world a better place, we have to look back. We have to look at the lies that people were conditioned to accept. In order for you to change your life, you have to understand you are better than just what the world is telling you. Once you understand that, you will have the power to change yourself. You will have the power to change your future. You have the power to predict what will happen to you. Not because somebody has a title means they're telling you the truth. Because remember, that title is a form of conditioning to suppress you, to make you doubt who you are, to make you doubt yourself, to make you doubt your every decision. Sometimes your parent, sometimes your what you call soulmate is part of your destruction. Has nothing to do with sex, has nothing to do with if the person's a male or a female, just have to do with the programming. How people were programmed to make sure they suppress you while they suppress themselves. If you want to change your life, you have to change your behaviors. If you want to change your circumstances, you also have to change how you process information. Not because it's written in a book means it is true. Truth sometimes is unwritten, unspoken, but it's all around you. If you want to change your life, you have to look back. And you have to look at all your behaviors. How have you been acting? How has your behavior been? And look at the results. If you understand the results you've gotten from the way you've been behaving, if you look back and analyze those decisions, analyze the results, you will be able to change your very existence. You were programmed to fail. Now you're being reprogrammed to succeed. Don't forget, like and subscribe. For any questions, shoot an email. Comments are welcome. All comments are welcome. But remember, in order to change your life, you have to change your mind. In order to change your mind, you have to realize that you were programmed to fail. Thank you.